Hi guys!
Hi!
Welcome to another episode of our vlog. Thank you so much for stopping by again. Thank you for all the likes,
the comments.
Thank you for subscribing,
for sharing.
Yes. And if it's your first time here, please make sure you subscribe
and
make
like,
sure you share with your friends. So let's just dive in. What's the
I'm
today? I'm in Chedo.
So basically today we'll be talking about the Nigeria-China currency swap deal. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, it sounds heavy, but don't worry, we'll explain it. We'll tell you what it means, what you stand to gain as an individual, what you need to protect yourself from, what the economy stands to gain or lose as a country, basically.
What is the currency swap deal?
Yeah, I was good. Coming to that. So a currency swap deal basically is the exchange of one country's currency for another. It's that simple. I give you my currency, you give me yours, and then after a while we may pay back some interest or renew
the contract at the end of the period.
So that's basically what a currency swap deal is. So before we go into the Nigeria and China scenario, let's explain to you how we even got here in the first place. How do we end up in this situation?
Well, this our gist is, it's been long coming. The thing is, as regards this currency swap, why do we even need China to give us their money, their currency, and why do we need to give them back? So everybody's aware that at some point we were in a recession in Nigeria, meaning we had, negative growth rates for so many quarters. For I think more than 2 quarters, we experienced negative growth rates. And during the recession, in fact, I think I'm even going too far. What led to it was because the oil price, crude oil. You know that Nigeria is dependent on
only one
thing, majorly on one thing, which is the crude oil.
We only give crude oil.
Like
we give other things, but crude oil is like...
It's the major thing. It makes up, it's the major thing we export,
And it rules us, basically.
And the beautiful thing about the crude oil price, is that the price of the crude oil isn't determined in Nigeria. It's determined internationally.
So we have no control over it.
So we don't have any control. So it's whatever the international market says. Crude oil price, this is what it is. And for a country that is dependent on crude oil, if the international market says crude oil is 20 naira, it means your reserve that you have, or rather the reserve that the new reserves you're going to have is going to drop by like 80% because your crude oil prices have dropped as well. Because crude oil price used to be $100 per barrel. But it reduced, it kept dropping, although now it's like $70-something per barrel, which is good. But during the recession, it was as low as $40 per barrel. So it got to that point where crude oil was dropping, prices were dropping, and foreign exchange was hard to find. People couldn't access dollar.
And the reason for that is because our foreign reserve is like our bank account. So when we sell crude oil, they pay us, we put it there, we keep stocking up. And then when you need to buy other stuff, or when you need to buy something from another country or do anything, we remove from that reserve. So when we are not putting in as much as we're removing, it would be reducing drastically. And then that just cripples the whole economy. So you can't even remove, you can't do as much as you used to, you can't do as much as you need to.
Very true.
So it cripples the economy, and that's what happened to us.
In fact, it got to a point where CBN had to release a circular one time to say we're banning 41 items, so you're not allowed to access FX
for
or dollar
items.
for those items, like toothpick, tuna fish in the can, different types of things, rice. So that's even another topic. Why should we be importing toothpick? But that's fine. But those are the things that people were demanding for dollar for, and then CBN thought it was okay. And for China, in this scenario, most of our imports, we import a lot of things from China. So it will make a lot of sense for us to actually pay them with their own currency instead of going through the third party.
So usually, if you wanted to get the yuan, the Chinese currency, you have to first buy the dollar, and then use the dollar that you bought to buy this Chinese currency.
currency.
And when the dollar is of high demand, people that are going to America, dollar. People that are going to Australia, dollar. People that are going, dollar. You want to China, dollar. Everybody's asking for the dollar. So obviously the dollar is expensive because too many people want it. And then in order to allow business people to access China and to buy stuff from China, we need to remove that dollar from the whole equation. And that's the whole purpose of the currency.
But it doesn't mean that we no longer need the dollar though.
I mean, we do, but at least the pressure will be reduced. So basically, we're going to dive right into the benefits of this currency swap deal for Nigeria as a country. What does Nigeria stand to gain from this currency swap deal? What do we have to gain?
I think the number one thing for me that I think we stand to benefit from this deal is the elimination of that third party stuff, because
it's too expensive.
If I need to buy goods, knowing that as an Igbo man, an Aba man, an Aba businessman, my content, and I like to, people actually go to China to buy a lot of goods, like people in textile businesses, people in clothes, like clothing, different
all industries
go to China to
an association with China one way or the other.
So I mean, like, it will make a lot of sense for you to actually purchase something from China and pay them back with in their own currency. You don't have to go as far as getting the dollar first, then you now go and
this dollar that is expensive. This dollar that you have to go to Malams and all this, it was just too long.
And then this third party thing also reduces the demand for the dollar, so there will be more dollar to meet other needs.
Exactly, other needs, like things that we actually do need the dollar for. So if we need a transaction, we don't need to move all our money to China anymore, all our dollar to China anymore. So it allows you to, how before they reduced the maximum amount of dollar you can spend or you can ask for your travel allowance.
That time, like, people couldn't pay school fees.
People couldn't pay school fees. Now you can pay. Now I'm sure there'll be more dollar to pay school fees. So that's the major benefit that we start to gain. Apart from that, the fact that we have this currency swap deal sort of allows other countries to feel like you can do business with Nigeria.
Very true.
China is a force to reckon with, because I mean China is like almost the biggest economy in the world.
Well,
so if China is doing business with
Nigeria,
that's like recommendation. That's like, okay, Nigeria is good to do business with, and so that's a good thing. It makes us attractive for business, and so that's another benefit.
However, I know that there are some benefits too, they make a lot of sense, but looking at it like, let's reason objectively.
I don't think Nigeria is prepared for this.
Because if you check the import-export ratio for Nigeria, how much goods do we export to China?
We export 1/10
of what we import.
Of what we import from China. So that means we import 10 times
of what we export
to China. It makes
which means eventually, for me, I feel like we're like a dumping ground for Chinese products.
Exactly. And then a lot of things will be coming in to Nigeria.
A lot of things, like little things that we can literally produce here. And it might even close down local businesses.
It will. Well, I guess it will close down local businesses. Because they're bringing in those things way cheaper than businesses here can produce. So imagine bringing textile. In Nigeria, we already have the problem of power. We already have the problem of getting raw materials, a lot of issues. So cost of production is already high. Somebody is now selling at a proper, an amount that would allow them to make profit or even break even. Then you are now bringing in your Chinese cheap goods.
And
you as an individual will not buy expensive
something
goods.
as little as toothpick. somebody was telling us, that he went to a mall and bought
500 naira
toothpick, made in Nigeria toothpick.
You buy 500 naira.
Will you buy exactly?
No, okay, so 500 naira sounds like it's just 500.
But it's toothpick, and you can get it for 150 naira.
Will Yamoria in Unilag buy 500 naira toothpick? No. I don't think so. So those are the things that we have to look at. people that need, I mean, we as individuals that need toothpick for our houses, we can afford to buy toothpick. But a business person, a food vendor that uses toothpick every time cannot afford
500 naira. Because first of all, your food isn't even up to, your food is like 200 naira per plate. And then somebody you're using 500 naira toothpick. For 200 naira, it doesn't balance at all.
So it would cripple a lot of local businesses, and then apart from crippling local businesses, this would lead to businesses closing down, unemployment, social vices. Yeah. We're not even ready. So now we want to be exporting to China. What are we exporting?
That's what I don't get.
Is it crude oil?
That's what I don't get.
Because that's the only main thing that we have to export.
I really don't get it, honestly. So for me, I would say the currency swap deal is a good thing, but
are we ready for it?
I feel like the government, I mean, this is to you, please, we need to work on our export.
We need to work
on
our
export. We need to stop exporting things in their natural state, in their raw form. It will make a lot of sense if we actually manufacture
these things. So that's where you come as an individual.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for you. This is a gold mine for so many of us. True. This is the time to invest, diversify, look for what to do in the economy that you can export. Look for what to manufacture that you can export. Exportable goods, things
I mean,
that
like, funny enough, like these days, people, fashion designers, like I'm really impressed. You go to Instagram, like they literally take their stuff abroad to sell. I think it's very good. Like people can actually do that. So you know, this is make tops, make an Ankara stuff, go abroad, because these people, they don't know, they're not Africans. They really admire our culture.
They admire our culture.
So I mean, like, it's an opportunity for, you know, people in the service industry to literally do anything, export your services abroad. This is actually a very
imagine
good opportunity.
China has like 2 billion people.
Actually,
imagine selling to 1/10 of those people. That's a huge market. So this is time to cash in on it. Look for what to do that is exportable. Very, very important.
I mean, like, we can actually go on and on and on about this. Like, I mean, I'm still open to ideas. I don't know, what do you think this currency swap deal is?
We need to get your feedback.
We need to really know, because I need to understand what more we have to gain in this deal.
Honestly, apart from the things that we've mentioned, I'm not sure we have so much to gain from it.
Let's not close our minds to it.
Please, so tell us. We'd like to get your feedback. Yes. You can reach us on our social media pages, and then just let us know what you think. Let's get your feedback, and let's just keep the conversation going. So thanks for watching.
Please make sure to subscribe, like, share this vlog to everybody around you. Bye.
We can't wait to see you guys next week.